Now, everyone looks different when they're outside of their window of tolerance. Some of us are more likely to go into a state of hyper arousal, which means we have too much arousal. Usually our heart is beating and we might want to fight or run away and we might feel agitated. Some of us go into hypoarousal. So our body starts to try to save as many resources as possible, and we're more likely to withdraw. Sometimes hypoarousal can actually look like depression. So whether you're in that hyperarousal or hypoarousal state, it is an indication that you are outside of your window of tolerance, which means that you are experiencing more stress than you can handle at that moment. Another way to think about what happens when we go outside our window is that some of us move into this space of chaos where we're overwhelmed and we're doing whatever we can, while others tend to move into a space of rigidity where we're trying to do things perfectly to keep control. In both contexts, we feel out of control. There are a number of factors that will dictate the width of our window, so essentially how much stress we can tolerate. And some of these factors are based in the present moment, like how tired we are, how hungry we are, if we're agitated by the temperature in the room, if we have a cold or a flu. All of these different physiological factors going on are going to impact how wide or thin our window is. So if we have experienced childhood trauma, we may have a thinner window. It may be more difficult for us to tolerate stress. Or if we grew up with a caregiver who was able to teach us how to regulate our nervous system, we're more likely to have a wider window. So there's all of these factors from the present and from the past that are going to dictate how much stress we can tolerate. All right, so let's talk a little bit about burnout. People who are burned out have typically been outside of their window for too long. They're experiencing too much stress. And when we're burned out, we usually feel this lack of control. If I were to look into the brains of people who are chronically under stress and who are burned out, I would see that those brains actually look different than people who are inside their window or who are not experiencing burnout, which means that this consistent stress literally changes our brain. Now, the good news is there are things that we can do to expand our window, to decrease burnout, and just to have an overall sense of control of how we respond to stress. And so I'm going to be talking about those factors in this next video.